Here it is. Now I have to ask, as a matter of course, what kind of experience do you have driving trucks? I drove deliveries for an antique shop up until this last run. Aha, precious cargo. You'll do just fine. And you can drive safely, can't you? I haven't any doubt now. It's only after what happened with Miguel this evening. What happened with Miguel this evening? Well, the dust is still clearing, of course. Perhaps he closed his eyes a moment, or simply hit a curve too devilish. I do pity old faded Miguel. He was good company, and slow to anger. But if we're speaking confidentially, well, with all that lost product to be repaid, bourbon and glass dashed across the interstate, a few casks too, we're all just thankful he had no next of kin. So, let's see if we can ring up the dispatcher. Doolittle starts the truck and switches on the CB radio. A deep, monotonous voice drones from the dashboard speaker. 1020 on that load. Come back? Up in the Hummingbird Cave, 1012. City Kitty. This is a good time, dispatch. We may have found Miguel's replacement. Thought you might like to get acquainted. 10-9, come again? Introduce yourself. Tell dispatch something impressive about yourself. They're very well regarded here. I guess I could try to have a truck like I get 99 wheel holder, gotta pay the water bill. So I'm still gonna call back before long. Let's take a look around the truck, eh? Control the wipers with this knob here. Do little fills with the controls. Yeah. Seem to have a decent torque to them, eh? Can't say how they'd fare in an ice storm, but we may never delay a shipment. Better to assume the risk. Always clear skies down here. So I hear. Most of our product is delivered by surface roads, which feel rain quite often, particularly in the spring months. So I hear. They ditched class for a day to drive in the rain. It's pointless to stay. All review. He was a lost cause and she didn't need it anyway. She was smart, bored. It's time to cut out. Shitty day for it though. 83 and biblical flood. We went to a bar. They pulled into a dive bar with an afternoon open mic. It smelled like rose water. They smoked cigarettes, drank awful hooch, whistled buckets of rain. They sang about someone she wants to have loved. Brown hair curled around her ear. She had a voice like Scotch whiskey. We poured another drink, and another, and another. She worried it was getting dark out, and it was getting light out. They ended up in someone else's field, someone else's car. Early morning joyride, and a sunrise collision. She got on the bus. He hiked back to his car. He sat in his car and went over some options. Chicago, Toronto, Barrow. Seemed like a bold and impulsive gesture at the time. He pulled out of the parking lot. He removed his hands from the steering wheel for a moment and felt the car drift into a decision. Years later, he'd think of this as the moment he himself started drifting. A modest technology, but suited to the job, eh? Plenty good enough. Headlights work fine, see? Do little fills with the controls. That's important. Most of our product goes out at night. You never know who you'll run into in the daylight. And dusk can be treacherously misleading with all that indirect light. The magic hour, eh? Magic hour, sure. The angle of the sun at dusk and dawn means the light is mostly indirect reflections from the sky. Everything looks like a movie, but it's all a bit softer. Finally, I had to get off the highway. Too loud, too murky. Turned off into some gray cornfield in Indiana. You watch traffic and birds. Thinking those migrations close up, they look random. Thought about the load in the trailer. Thousands of plastic cups. Somebody wanted those in Rockford that night. One of those cups in Rockford. It wasn't gonna happen. He was only human. He'd been out since the headlights were on. Didn't even stop for coffee. Cracked a beer at 3, eyes on the road. 4:30, he dodged some stray cattle. Headlights were coming back on. Rockford could wait. Early morning couldn't be much worse than late night. What could they care? He just needed a few hours. So, moving on. Oh, sure, I know you want to look. Kick the tires, that's the thing we do, isn't it? So our knees could exert the kind of force these tires see out there on the road. We're more likely to hurt ourselves. Isn't it the way, eh? Sure, they're big machines, but they can be fragile. Absolutely. The truck deserves care and fearful respect, like a glass elephant. Miguel was a good driver, but he didn't have the quality of deference. Conway sat in a dim room full of folding chairs. The walls and ceiling were painted with old smoke. Someone read from the book. He drank coffee with a little sugar. He listened. The speaker listed all the things we tried. That we... Most people in the room were probably there by court order. A few others shared. They spoke in abstractions like a program of action, a good orderly direction, spiritual but not religious, religious but not spiritual, all the things we tried. Then it was over. They clasped sweaty hands through a short prayer, stepped back out into the morning. He knew it was time to hit the bar. It was good to get out of the heat, away from the mendacity. He settled into it. Someone else from the meeting was here, looking rough. He started a conversation. She was on a bender, a week in counting. She'd arrived at the meeting drunk and sat in the back because she didn't believe in it. She read a lot of French books and didn't believe in anything but the benign indifference of the universe. It was comforting, in its way. She didn't have to prefer one thought or day over any other. All she had to do was drink. And stay indifferent. Now what else can we show you? Just the back, I suppose. Looks like it's just about ready to go out. We have some good strong folks in shipping here, so you never need to worry about loading if you don't want to. Bit hard on the knees and back at our age, eh? Of course you have to unload it at the destination, but that's the job. And some drivers like the extra shift, stacking and loading here. I shouldn't really do any lifting these days. I see. Well, surely we can spare a dolly and carrying strap for your health and safety. Conway woke up on baled hay. Everything was too bright. His head hurt. The usual. Lysette and Ira argued loudly just outside the open barn door. She wanted Ira to take him inside and shower, have some coffee, get to the job. Ira said there wasn't time. Conway's in no condition. It was an important job. They couldn't put it off. Ira said to let the deadbeat sleep it off and then send him packing. He said Charlie could do the job. Conway stepped out of the barn, shielding his eyes. He tried to say something reassuring, but she sort of stumbled around it. Lysette looked away. Ira just spat and went inside to wake Charlie. Ira was a stubborn man, so Charlie went along and Conway drifted out again, and he didn't hear about the accident until months later. So, what's next? Truck's radio crackles back to life. Driver, come back. There's dispatch. Now tell them about your experience. Tell them the truck's in good shape. Tell them you start in the morning. I really can't. Yeah, we gotta finish this delivery in a few... 10:33 dispatch. You got 2 black guys and a flock of crocodiles. Come back. 10-4, back it down and prick your eyelids, driver. Come back, Lem. 10-4. Come back, wheel holder. Conway remains silent. Dispatch is addressing you. He's here, dispatch. Got your ears on? Good. Listen to this. So, I think that went well. Let's head back up to logistics and seal the deal. Hey, and I got one more thing to show you. I think we've seen everything else. You guys hear the eerie 20s music? Huh. Back up the stairs. Let's head back upstairs, eh? I have one more thing to show you. Wait, we only came here looking for some answers about the stupid moldy computer. Oh, the old man in the cave with the moldy computer. That black mold. It's drawn to whiskey. It feeds on ethanol fumes, you see. As we age the whiskey, some of it inevitably evaporates into the air. The angel's share. Goes through the vents here and out into the caves. We can scrape up that mold. We can usually apply some pressure and cold to it. Squeeze and condense the angel's share back into drinkable whiskey. Every drop counts when you're making a living on this stuff. So we go down and scrape it off his equipment, just like any other place it grows. He kept sending his people here to drive us away. Paranoid, truly paranoid. Well, now we have the formula, so we don't need to go collecting mold. Since we stopped going down there, I'm sure the mold's gotten pretty thick. Try cleaning off the timing crystal. That'll get you going. I'm sure of it. So, join me upstairs. If you don't mind. Here it is. A beauty, wouldn't you say? It's an antique, you know. What is it? Why, it's an end machine. This is where we come for our daily ritual, to calculate the day's interest and repayment according to the formula. I usually do so at the beginning of my shift, so I know how many hours I need in order to keep up. Yes, I believe you'll do well here, sir. Happy to have you. Congratulations. You're hired. Wait, we can't... It's customary here to start each day with a shift drink. Let's make it special. Mark the occasion. This is the top shelf stuff now. Single barrel. He doesn't... Down the hatch. Venom. Memorai. Moors. In case you're wondering, I'm not doing that. There is no actual choice. Decent enough. Welcome aboard. It's not working for you. We have to get back to this. He has a delivery to make. What's this? Not working? Are you turning down this opportunity? She's right. I have to make this I'm disappointed. I'm afraid that leaves us with a delicate problem. As I indicated, this is the top shelf stuff you're drinking now. It isn't cheap. If it's not your first shift drink, well, and there's a matter of this tour just now, my time and experience are billed at quite a premium. It's not good for you, my friend. You're in quite deep. By the back of the envelope estimations. My back of the envelope estimations. Well, we have that in common, I suppose. All of us. Yes, I'm afraid you'll have to work this off somehow. It's just the way of it. What's happening right now? You can start tomorrow. Take the time to settle your affairs. Of course, the interest begins to compound immediately, and well, we'll go over the formula when you get here. I should get back to work. See you tomorrow, then. So, I guess I start in the morning. I guess. I'm confused. It's just the way these things go, kid. Huh. Well, that still gives us a few hours to roam, right? Where's that ferry? Ooh, that's a big boy. End of Act 3. We will be back with the third interlude next time. See you then.